The best advice for women in business: get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do, because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work. If you're the smartest.
A few days ago, our favorite lady, Kim Kardashian, gave us some very, very interesting advice on how to be a successful businesswoman. And what that advice was devoid of is an understanding of how a common middle class or lower middle class person currently lives in America. So the concept has always been that to get to the American dream, you can work harder, and then if you work harder, you're going to make it. If you just get your ass up and work, you're going to make it. And I'm going to tell you, the advice that Kim gave to all of us women was absolutely right. She is correct. She wants us to get up and work harder. And if not for anything else, because she will benefit tremendously from us working harder. Because her entire family will benefit tremendously for us working harder. Why is that? Let me start with who the Kardashian market to. Women, mostly. And a lot of time, city, urban women. A lot of times too, black women, right? They have stole a lot of black culture and then refeed it to us and ask us to consume it, and not consume it for free, of course, but to purchase it from them. And I say that with the clothes that she wears, her hairstyle, and her persona is modeled off of a lot of urban fashion that is inspired by black women and black American women, to be very specific, right? And so she's saying that get your ass up and work, because if you work, you're going to buy Skim, you're going to buy whatever product she's selling, you're going to buy Kylie Cosmetic, you're going to buy Chloe Good American jeans, and you're going to go to Push or Tush, I'm not sure what the store is called, and purchase things from them, right? And this idea of consumerism sort of continues. You are never enough. You can never get enough. The more you get, the more you should want. It's not that if you make $80,000 a year, you could be fine if you know how to manage your finances. It's that if you make $80,000 a year, there's so much more that you could be making if you work harder. There's so much more that you could be making if you neglect your family. There's so much more that you could be making if you give up your personal time and sacrifice any fun time. You work so hard that by the time it's retirement, you are exhausted. You are like bedridden in a sense. And you have a lot of medical issues because you don't know anything but work, and that work have taken a toll over your body. I work in education, and one of the things that is absolutely heartbreaking to see is how much it takes to manage children, right? And during the pandemic, who had to stay home to take care of the kids? The parents, the mom especially. A lot of women had to stay home and take care of their kids. Is that working hard? Is that working hard enough? And is that necessary making money? Absolutely not. That is not making any money. Is that working hard? Absolutely. If to be a stay-at-home mom, I will be very hesitant to say yes, because of the sheer amount of work involved in that type of duty. And during that pandemic, the vast majority of women that have little kids had to stay home to take care of that responsibility. And the fact that Kim is just like, oh yeah, just get your ass up and work. If you work, everything is just going to be perfect. It's hilarious, because it's just like, oh yeah, you're so rich that you have everybody to call. You have a security guard, you have a gate person, you have a couple of nannies and so on, and you think that your access to wealth does not influence your ability to work effectively and yield better result from it, which is very delusional to think that it doesn't. But at the end of the day, what Kim is trying to tell us is that your American dream is just 3 steps away from you if you work harder, if you get up. But as soon as you get up, that American dream is another 3 steps away from you. When you take that 3 step, it's another 3 steps ahead of you. You're like constantly chasing this thing that you can never really attain. And you're always being convinced that you need more of things, you need more of something, you need to be more successful. And a lot of time when we measure success, we always look to wealth. We always look to how much money you have in your bank account, how big your ass is, because then you have gotten enough money to go get it enlarged, right? How many cars you have, how good you're looking, because you can have personal chef, you can have private gym memberships and get your body done and all these things. And we lose track of living because we're so focused on trying to attain something that we have been told that we need, right? And so as a businesswoman, what Kim said was absolutely correct, because she's going to benefit tremendously from women getting their ass up and working. If women get their ass up and work, guess what? Some of that money is going to go to her. She's going to benefit from that money, because then you're going to buy her product. If you don't buy her product, you're going to buy one of her family member products, or maybe the many products that she advertised through her Instagram and other social media, right? You think she's not getting a cut from purchases? She is absolutely getting it. And so this idea of having to always work hard is always based on this delusion that you can attain American dream. An American dream, the American dream that we really talk about is the wealth. It's the big house, it's the fancy car, it's the flashy stuff. It's never like just internal contentment. It's never getting enough to where you can support yourself, your family, and really enjoy life. It's always chasing after something. And asking women to get their ass up and work means that Kim gets more worker, right? If you have more worker, guess what you can do? You can produce more. I remember when I was going to college, I had to work at a warehouse. This was a clothing warehouse. It was one of the worst jobs that I've ever gotten. Not because it was particularly mentally challenging, but it was physically tasking. I remember my first week was training, and then after that second week it was like, hey, here are your numbers. If you don't hit this, you get written up. If the following week you don't hit the numbers that have increased from the previous week, and then you get a second warning. If you get a third warning, then you get fired. So it was always this mentality of self-improvement, improvement, and it was never, oh, at some point you really reach your max, right? It was like, no, you can go further. Yeah, you can go further. You can go further. You can go further. So literally I was spend 12 hours standing, cutting box open, ripping them apart, taking clothes out, sealing the box, sending it through, constantly moving without even standing to take a break. I was lucky if I were able to take like 2 breaks in that 12 hours. One will be a bathroom break, and the other which will be like 5-minute max, and the other was a lunch break, which was 30-minute max as well. So by the time you heat up your food and sit down, you barely have time to eat and drink water, and catch your breath, and you have to go right back to hustling. And that was the mentality of the warehouse. And I remember my first summer, I didn't get fired from that job because I had a man that was working next to me who helped me a lot. And then my second time around, I was like, nope, this is a wrap. And I think that mentality and that type of warehouse culture is exactly what I hear when I hear Kim ask for women to get their ass up and work. Yeah, I understand. We have women. A lot of women around me work extremely hard and I've seen it. And she's saying that you need to get your ass up and work because she knows that she will benefit incredibly from you getting your ass up and working. It will enrich her. She is exactly the top 1% that we all complain about. She's exactly the top 1% that will crush you if given the opportunity to take the last little crumbs that you have on your plate. Because when you start getting rich, guess what? You just never get enough. You just want more and more and more and more. Wealth is never enough. So as we digest her advice, and I know she's been getting a lot of backlash for it, but I'm just looking for it from her angle. And I see that she wasn't wrong in her assessment. She was just too forward in telling you guys that you need to work harder so you can make her a little bit more richer. She won the billionaire status, and that depends on you purchasing her stuff. That depends on you following her. That depends on you working for her. And so without those things, she could not be a millionaire. And so get up and do what she says. Or maybe get up and define your own life and not fall into this celebrity trap, and not fall into this trap of the American dream that is always trying to feed you how you're supposed to live. Even though we're incredibly content, even though the suicide rate is up, even though we are depressed, we are also supposed to be thriving and working for the American dream. If not for anything else, for somebody else's American dream, which I think she's asking us to work for her American dream so she can become a billionaire. And it's unfortunate and so on. And sometimes, Chloe, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, because smart is sometimes very subjective. Sometimes you can learn from people that are not smarter than you. And so you don't always have to feel the need to change your friend groups because you think you are just smarter than them. There's sometimes in life there are things more important than just the way you see yourself and how smart you perceive yourself to be. So, well,